Hey guys, this is Sam the Geek, and I found this blog called This is Thin Privilege, and I've been looking up this thin privilege movement and whatever, and I'm fat, and honestly, there is nothing I've seen that is more complaining than these two blogs. I mean, I just couldn't even fathom how insignificant these problems are. As a fat person, I've dealt with a lot of these problems, but they're not real issues. They're not they're not discriminatory. They're just not. On here, I've read things like, "Oh, you don't have to buy two seats on the airplane." All right. I just went to Hawaii and one of the planes I had to buy two seats on. And you know what? I should have to buy two seats. You know why? Cuz part of my body does cross the barrier where someone would lay their armrest. Therefore, I shouldn't be, so implied to say that I don't take up two seats. Because on that specific plane, that small plane, I do. So I should have to buy two seats. And then on here they complain that, oh, if you buy two seats, sometimes they're not in the same place anyway. That's when you go. You see, that's when you take yourself to the airport, talk to the manager, because I had the same problem on the way back. You talk to them and you say, I bought two seats, but they're nowhere near each other, and I'm going to disturb someone I'm sitting next to, and I would have wasted money. So you know what they do? They go onto their computer, they move people, find two seats, reprint the tickets, and it's over. That's all you had to do. It's not a complex issue in life. And yes, you should be forced to buy two seats because, they're not going to pay millions of dollars to make a new plane, specifically because a couple of people who ride the airplane are big enough to where they need to, have two seats. That's not the function of an airplane. The function of an airplane is transporting people. If you're on a bus, it's the same issue. If you're going to take up two seats, you should buy two tickets to the bus or stand. It's not even a matter of discrimination. You're just physically taking up the proportions of two people. You're losing them money. That seat could have been filled by another skinny person, two skinny people, and they would have had double the money. So it's just not even a matter of them, not liking you. They would happily serve you. You just have to pay your fair share. And the consequence of being fat is that you have to realize that you have a specific size. You are a specific width. You take up space. There's mass to you. And you have to realize that that's going to be an issue for some areas of life. You're not going to be a stewardess. You have to walk back and forth through the plane the entire trip, and people don't want to get bumped as you're walking by. That's just a fact of life. And then there's these things like car privilege. Oh, you, thin people don't know what it's like to have to get a seatbelt extension. No, I've never been fat enough to where I would need a seatbelt extension. And honestly, I don't know how you could even get to that point and not question what's going on with your health. The fact is that being fat is a medical condition at some point. You get to a certain level and you have to think about that. And one thing I dislike about fat people is that they say, "Oh, but it's so hard to lose weight." Here's the reality of the situation. It took you years and years to put it on. It's going to take you a long time for it to come off. It's not going to be a couple of weeks or a couple of months. It's going to possibly be years that it will take you to lose that weight. And you shouldn't expect any different. It took you years to put it on. And you can't expect, these weight loss programs to be immediately effective.
It's 2 o'clock.
It's just insanity for that to even enter your mind, that isn't even a possibility, that you could easily lose that weight. And the seatbelt extension thing, it's just another penalty. The car manufacturers do make bigger cars, and bigger cars waste more gas. And the whole issue is that you're going to have to spend more money. Well, guess what? That's a part of life. Life isn't fair. Some people are tall and they try to get into the car and they bump their head on the ceiling. This is short privilege. Some people are so short they have to get a specific type of car just so that they can reach the bottom. This is tall privilege. Please. Some people can't even play the Wii correctly because they're not right-handed. This is right-hand privilege? There are obstacles in life that you'll have to deal with, no matter what type of person you are. If you're a white kid growing up in Detroit, you're going to have problems. Okay? You're going to have issues if you grow up in the wrong neighborhood, no matter what your skin color is. There are environmental issues that you are born into. And the whole issue of this privilege thing is that a lot of these people, you know what fat privilege is? Being able to eat every night. You know what fat privilege is? Being able to live comfortably with food. Some people can't eat because they feel so uncomfortable with becoming fat. That's real fat phobia. Not people that don't want to sit to someone because they stink, or they don't want to sit next to you because you're forcing them against the wall of the bus. That's not fat phobia. Real fat phobia is people being so afraid of being fat that they would literally puke their brains out until they're skinny. Some people live in Africa and they don't get any food or clean water. That is fat privilege. You see the issue here? Everyone has issues in life. Life is not fair and it never will be, and you shouldn't expect it to be. People are going to treat you differently. There are millions of people in this country, 300 million people in this country, here in America. And you expect them to all have a similar opinion of you? You expect them to not be judgmental? Can you honestly tell me that you've never looked at someone and thought something immediately about them based on their physical appearance, the way they act, political alignments, anything? The answer is no. Because people are naturally judgmental. We have a defense mechanism. We're animals. We're naturally prejudiced against certain things. There are things that we don't like. And you can't expect everyone to have the same standards of beauty and everything else as you. It's insane to believe that it's selfish to say that because you're fat, you should be treated like everyone else, because everyone else has problems. Everyone else has issues. Even if the simplest thing is if you're male or female. Females don't get paid as much as males. And females have the issue of being sexually assaulted more. But males, they have longer prison sentences. They are treated less fairly in any judicial court. And they don't get custody of their kids easier. Males have those issues. Males also have the issues of, not being taken seriously when they're sexually assaulted. You see, life isn't fair for anybody, no matter who you are or what you are, what your sexual preference is, anything. We all have differences, and you're always going to face discrimination. You're always going to face prejudice. But instead of actively working to disprove stereotypes, instead of actively working to boost yourself up and work harder, you're going to sit there and complain. And that's the biggest issue with our generation, is that we're so entitled and we're so self-centered and we're so expecting of the world that we expect everyone to treat us with respect automatically. That's not how life works. People have to work to earn your respect. They should have to work to earn your respect, and it goes vice versa. You see, it's it's stuff like this to why people are lazy and unmotivated. That's really what a lot of these people are. They're lazy and unmotivated. Instead of working past these things and trying to develop themselves as a stronger person, instead of, maybe thinking, maybe I should lose the weight. Maybe I should, start, exercising more, becoming fit, stuff like that. No, I'm just going to complain about it. I've exercised. I try to keep myself as fit as possible, which is hard for me to do because I'm surrounded by food, obviously, and it's an obvious addiction. That's what it is. And as soon as you realize that, that's how it is. This is straight edge privilege. You don't see that existing either. not having to uh, not having to snort coke at night, not having to sell your bike to get an extra bit of juice. No, because that's not how it works in life. You can't just say people are more privileged than you and expect people to feel sorry for you. It's not how it works. You need to grow up and realize that. As soon as you realize that life is unfair, you'll be able to motivate yourself and try to do things. I was the same way in high school. I didn't work on my grades or whatever because I figured, oh, well, these top people in my class, they're going to get everything anyway. But to be honest, if I worked really hard in high school, I probably would have gotten really good scholarships and degrees and been the fuck out of here, you know? But because of that, I had to settle with what I could get because I was lazy and I was incompetent and arrogant and ignorant. Life isn't structured to be fair. It will never, ever, ever be fair. And if you really want the honest truth, you shouldn't want it to be fair. Because if life was fair, it would be to the most terrible, shitty degree. Everyone would be shitty. Everyone would have pretty much nothing. I mean, look at third world countries and then look at our country. America has the richest poor people in the world. We're the richest country in the world. The most disadvantaged person here is one of the highest advantaged people in the world. There are people that have no rights. And if everything was fair, that'd probably be applied across the board. Because that's how power works.